What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. One of the Quest sponsors, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. You also know I'm a Weeble Preferred Influencer. Listen, it's the weekend. Took a lot of time with this video. Do me a favor. Click the link. Go open an account. You deposit any amount of money. The rest of October, a single dollar. They're going to give you free fractional shares for making the deposit. And they're also going to give you up to 5% back on your uninvested cash. Helps my channel out a ton. Only takes you a couple minutes. We're going to talk about Madden franchise. We're going to talk about Deuce Douglas. We're going to talk about really the deceit of EA and the community. I'd love for you to like this video, share this video. This is what Deuce Douglas was talking about a couple years ago before the community got him hired at EA. Field customization. We take a look at what he wanted to do. Center field logos, end zone logos. We have to ask ourselves, why is the modding community on PC able to put the Eagles logo center field? Update everything. Crucial catch. Removing the fair play or whatever EA has on their field, but also going in and giving us options at every stadium practically. Look at this beautiful Dolphins end zone. Lifelike. Look at the Rams end zones. What they have on the field. Now, I understand people say, well, EA can't do everything. They can't go and put the NFL sponsors in like T-Mobile. But at the end of the day, they have the option to do this. They have the licensing. Deuce talked about authentic broadcast presentation, how important it was, how realistic this needed to be. We take a look at what the modding community has done. Already have CBS, Fox, among others in the game. Not just that. We take a look at what they've done with player likeness. Take a look at Jalen Hurts here, wearing his actual headband on his helmet. Take a look at the Jim Brown memorial patch for the Cleveland Browns. Go over to the Giants, the Bills, tons of teams that wear different colored inner shirts. Take a look at Dak Prescott wearing a necklace that he wears in real life. Not just that, but gold teeth that player at EA Sports currently, Chad Johnson, made famous, really. Necklaces, none of this is included in the game. Not to mention the thumbnail with the Air Jordan logo on the headband worn on the neck. And again, just more presentation. But let's talk about something near and dear to me. Indianapolis Colts, Anthony Richardson. Season-ending, more than likely surgery. The impact this has on a franchise. In a game, realism. Well, the reality is you have, right now, modders putting this in the game. This is something Deuce Douglas preached about, right? Oh, you were going to have career health. You were going to be able to look at players and assess how they were physically. Not just that, Jonathan Taylor. You were going to have contract negotiations. Well, this is now updated. The modders have done it, but EA hasn't. What did Deuce Douglas talk to us about? We talked to us about holdouts, how important they were. You had a player that was extremely unhappy, wanted a new contract. We see what happened with Nick Chubb, how important it is. Here's what he showed us. Problematic players that were going to get trade offers. You didn't have to take them, though, like you see here with Andy Reid and Chris Jones. He would also talk about storylines with players' agents, where you could release a player if you wanted to, or you could just do nothing and let them sit, not play. Not just that, if you were going to trade compensatory picks. You have to be kidding me, EA Sports. You're nowhere near where the people you brought on said you could be. Look at just the imagery here with the draft. Nowhere near where they are now. But not just that. Again, there's more things that the modding community can do that the paid Madden EA employees can't. Coaching staff. One of my favorite players here, running back Eric Bieniemy. Moving him up the ranks, running backs, offensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, creating a real coaching tree, something that brings dynamics to the game. Well, somehow the modding community has brought all of these players in. Rob Ninkovich, Jared Mayo, Ty Law. You don't have this in Madden. It can be done, we can see that. Take a look at 90-man rosters. Something he preached about, depth and how important this was to make sure that every roster spot mattered. Your practice squad was something you could build off and deal with. Position changes, moving players from wide receiver to defensive back or safety. Go back to Mike Furry, player that did this very well. You don't see this in Madden currently. But years ago, Deuce Douglas knew this would be important. Position battles, critical on a 90-man roster to have two players challenging. Mitch Trubisky, Nick Foles, battling out over quarterback. You see this all the time in the NFL. EA Sports can't put it in their franchise. Look at this detailed scouting report on Mike Taylor, the pros, the cons, the draft prep, everything that you want to see in terms of game of the week integration. Something that feels different when you play it. Where is this in the current game? Well, guess what? The modding community has been able to do a little bit more, letting you pick up the season wherever you want. Passing leaders that are current to now. Information that is relevant to current weeks. We can't even get updated rosters from EA. That's why so many people are concerned about the future of football gaming, because we know, at least with EA, what the past has shown us. I don't want this video just to be about Deuce Douglas. I want this to be about someone that went out and championed, along with many of us in the community at the time, the fixed franchise movement. You had Swami also make the transition from community member to EA Sports. But nothing seems to actually lead to tangible changes. What the community has wanted has not changed. What EA is selling us also hasn't changed. Every year, same song and dance. Most polished game. We're doing it for John. We're doing it for our jobs. Simulation football. Yet it never shows up in the final product. EA goes out, they find creators, promote their game, give their game away through countless social media platforms, whether it's a football player or not. Free-to-play weekends, focus on mini games that don't mean anything, don't even stay in the game. Go and get meaningless crossover promotions like the Rugrats, SpongeBob SquarePants. Meanwhile, the core game suffers. What Madden built itself on suffers. The point of this was very simple. Show you, a handful of years ago, what a community member came out and spent a lot of time doing. Show you what a lot of people in the community championed, pointed at, and said, yes, this is what we want. And to encourage you to look at the game right now and ask where all these things went. Now, I've done that for years. But what I wanted to add to this video is the fact that currently there's people that are out there doing this for free. For free. They're making improvements to the game that EA Sports, the people that get paid to work on this game, can't do. And there's a huge disconnect there. This is absolutely destroying football gaming. It's not just the fact that there's no competition. It's not just the fact that there's one game in the marketplace. It's the fact that the game in the marketplace is awful. It's been awful. It stayed awful. This rate, it'll continue to be awful. And they're going to take this awful mindset, this awful product, and carry it right over into NCAA football games, which will in turn be awful. We help, as this community, people make livelihoods with channels, myself included, and I'm extremely grateful for that. We've taken people out of this community and given them jobs at EA Sports. We've taken people out of this community and let them build games. Retro Bowl is a great example. This community is extremely powerful. But one thing we also need to do is send a message to the NFL that we've had enough of a subpar product. We've had enough of being lied to. We've had enough of having our hopes be sold to us. And then a product absolutely failed to deliver. The answer is not moving the exclusivity license to another company. The answer is we learn from this, and never does another company get exclusivity with any sports game. Because removing competition from the marketplace has led to one thing: the demise of NFL football gaming. mentioned it multiple times this week. There's a video Neil Bauer did. Incredible video that encapsulates how sports gaming can lead to a lifelong fan and connection to the sport. And right now, EA is doing anything but that. I would offer they're actually drawing a divide between the NFL fan, the NFL, and they're doing so through a subpar product. So as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I usually don't like videos to go this long. I really had to dial myself back because I didn't want to feel like I was projecting against one person. But I do know that I've seen a lot of things happen during my time in the community. But one thing I haven't seen happen is a steady improvement with EA Sports. And when I can pretty much sit here and guarantee that the game is going to be just as bad next year as it was last year, as it was the year before, regardless of who they hire from our community to try to appease us in making a better game, there is no way that I will not be back in the week with more commentary.